All right, everybody. Thanks for coming back and checking this channel out. I'm kind of impressed and a little bit overwhelmed with the number of subscribers and the comments that this channel has gotten in the last little while. I wasn't expecting really hardly anybody to look at this channel, but I'm kind of impressed and surprised at the same time that things are going as well as they are with this particular channel. It's it's good stuff. I really appreciate it. So this is the third take on this story I've been trying to tell. So I think the best way to tell this story is to just ad lib it off of memory and the events that happened. I was going to read you my journal entries, but my journal entries, I think, are a little bit way too detailed and kind of, I don't know, all over the place. So I'm going to skip the journal and just basically go off of, you know, the memory as to and the summary as to what the story I want to tell. So anyway, the end of July, my son and I were texting, and I was texting him, "Hey, how's it going?" and everything, and he's like, "Oh, everything's cool. Just stressing about paying for my wedding that's coming up here, the 13th of October." And he's like stressing out the finances and everything, and I'm like, "All right, so how much money are you short?" He's like $6,000. I'm like, okay, and then I just continued on with the conversation. And so anyway, in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, okay, I have 3 months off of work because I'm a substitute teacher, and I planned on having the 3 months off, and I scheduled my finances and everything perfectly so that I can take 3 months off, still pay for my obligations and everything, and still make it out on the end of the summer, having paid all my obligations and having basically made it perfectly until the next paycheck in September. And so things were working out exactly as planned and everything. And so Zach, saying, well, he's short $6,000, and I'm just like, okay. So been thinking about this a lot and everything over the weekend and the weekend of this occurring. And an inspired thought crosses my mind. I'm like, so in order to grow a tree, you need to prune branches, cutting good, healthy branches off to be able to stimulate and spur growth of new branches and new growth. And where I'm going with this particular thought is I've been a silver coin stacker for, many years, and, buried in my backyard, I have a significant stack of buried coins in my backyard. And they just been chilling there for like 3 years. Haven't added to the stack at all in like 3 years. They've just been chilling there, not doing anything. And so I'm like, all right, so I know that I have enough money on hand that I could solve Zach's dilemma instantly right now. And so I'm like, well, I could just pay him $1,000 in cash, but then I'm like, yeah, well, but still coming up with $5,000 is still a huge pain in the ass coming up with $5,000. And so I'm like, all right, so it's all or nothing kind of situation. So I went through my finances, figured out, what the sell price of silver was at that particular time, and figured out that I needed to sell about 200 of my silver coins to be able to solve this problem. So, I dug it out of storage and pull out 200 ounces of silver. And I go down to the coin shop in Salt Lake and uh, told them I need like seven. Was it what? No, I told them I need $4,000 in change because I had some cash and everything. So I was adding the sell price of silver to the cash I had on hand to be able to equal the $6,000. So long story short, I was able to sell the silver coins for whatever the spot price was at that time, and at the end, I basically had 4,000, no, $5,800 available in cash that I could set Zach up with, be able to pay for the rest of his wedding. So anyway, I told Zach I needed to come visit him at his work. He actually said that he had ordered the sun visor for my car that I was waiting for, and that part had arrived. And I said, all right, well, I'm in the area, so I'll come and get that installed from you right away. And so he didn't know that I was at the bank, doing these transactions and stuff like that. So I get to his work, And find him. He's a mechanic. We're making small talk. And I said, I have something for you. And he's like, what? What the hell could you possibly have for me? And I said, well, I have $5,800 to be able to help pay for your wedding. And I'm going to deposit that. I'm going to deposit that into your bank account. And he's just looking at me like, what the hell? And he's like being shocked and just like, he's not huge on reaction and everything, but I could tell just like reading his body language and everything that he was really, blown away and, blown back and stuff like that. So I let him know that I had $5,800 for him and it'll be in his account the next day because I had to wait till the check clears from the coin company to, make the deposit. So the next day the deposit would be made. So the following day I make the deposit, $5,800. Everything is awesome. His fiance texts me. She's just in tears. That she can't believe, that this is like the biggest blessing and everything else like that to help them be able to pay for their wedding coming up. So it was a huge deal, huge deal. And, all the feels were there. It was awesome. And so, a week, 9 days go by, and I'm also in charge of my mom's bank account. My mom's in a care center, and so I'm in charge of her bank account and everything. And turns out that she has a credit card with about $8,000 balance on it that needs to be paid off so that she can basically get that out of her life and continue on with staying at the care center and the deposits at the care center so that basically all the finances work out. And this $8,000 credit card thing was a giant wrench in the system. So I'm texting my brothers trying to figure out what we're going to do and stuff. And so anyway, I'm just like, well, I'll just pay for it. I have more silver available. I can just liquidate some more silver and we can get this done. So long story short, it kind of started a gigantic war between me and my brothers and sister-in-laws and everything. It was really messy, but in the end, my brother and myself basically split the bill, $4,000 in change each. I liquidated $4,000 in silver, and they matched that. We paid off mom's credit card, and all is well with mom's bank account. Everything's cool. Minus the family war that it started, crazy stuff. Anyway, so what I was getting around to with this long freaking story is I started out with 600 ounces of silver that were buried in my backyard, just chilling there. If I die, my kids get the silver, cool for them, Ultimately, I knew that the silver wasn't going to be used for me and my purposes, but it was going to be used for the family. It's just kind of how life works. I'm the one stacking the silver. Ultimately, it's going to go to benefit my family one way or the other. And that's exactly what happened. So the way that this story ends, well, I mean, it hasn't ended yet. It's still, occurring. So my focus now is to rebuild my stack where I basically liquidated about, 80% of my stack of silver. I need to rebuild what I had liquidated, and I need to do it really fast because silver prices fluctuate a lot. When I sold the silver back in late July and early August, I sold them for more than I had purchased them for at about $24 an ounce, give or take. So my dollar cost average on that, I actually made money on the sell. So that was a good thing. I didn't lose money on the sell, made money. And so now I'm nervous about rebuilding the stack as soon as possible because I need to build it back as cheaply and as quickly as possible. And so, I got my finances nailed down to like by the penny and everything and what I can spend on silver every month and all that to rebuild this stack of silver. And the interesting thing is it seems that when I sold the silver at the $24-ish mark, the price after that has gone down drastically down into the $22 mark. And so all my purchasing of silver in September was all in the $22-ish spot price. And I went to go buy some more silver 2 days ago. And while I was looking at the price of silver in the morning, I noticed that the price had gone up by 92 cents. And I'm like, ooh, this isn't good. I would like for silver to be, low when I buy it. Buy the dips, buy them low. And every other sell, or every time I purchased them throughout September, the prices were always low and prices were going down. And I was happy about that. So anyway, this particular day, I'm looking at the price and it's up 92 cents. And I'm like, well, I'm still going to buy regardless because I have to rebuild the stack. And so I go to the coin company and I look at the spot price before I go in, and the price had been slammed down to a negative like 37 cents, where it lost all of the 92 cents plus an additional 37 cents. And it was, in my favor, let's just say. So when I went to go buy silver that day, it was like the spot price was around $22.39. And that was a huge, huge relief off of me, because it helps me to rebuild that stack as quickly as possible, as inexpensively as possible. And my whole point in this really long story is that I think that God is on my side in this whole scenario, that he is the one that, prompted me to make the sell of the silver to be able to help my son and my family members out. Those promptings came purely from the Holy Spirit. I totally acknowledge that. And I got the best sell price I could at the time when I sold the silver. And then since then, the price has been down. And every time I buy the silver, it's been down and stuff. So it's like God is like, hey man, I got your back. We're going to keep the price low every time you're ready to buy, so that you can maximize, your dollar's value in rebuilding that stack that you sacrificed for your family. So still have faith, people. I have faith in God. God loves me. I love God. And I'm glad that this story is turning out the way that it's turning out. And I'm glad that I was able to be in the position to help family out, when they needed it at their most. I know what it's like to be in the position of needing the assistance and nobody able or willing to, step up and lend a hand, even though I knew for a fact that there was people around me that had the ability to do so. They just refused to do so. They didn't have the willingness to do so. And so I know what it's like to be in that position, and to see other people that I care about in my family in those positions, knowing that I have the ability to fix those problems. I had no choice but to pull the trigger and fix those problems for them, and, be that person that I wish that other people would have been for me. And I'm glad that I could turn that script around and help people out. It was huge. It was an awesome feeling. And, anyway, yeah, it's in my journal, but it's a very long, detailed, kind of rambling journal entry. So I decided to instead just summarize it. Hope it made sense for you. Let me know in the comments what you think of this story. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I'd like to hear other stories that you may have had on a similar basis. Talk to you guys next time. Take care.